Alright, so what are your names?
Sarah.
Nolan.
Steven. Vernick.
And why are you dressed up?
Basically, it's a convention for people who enjoy costuming and like art with human characteristics and like animal forms, you know? Like half human, half animal, kind of like creatures. Basically anthropomorphics, but we call them furries.
People just enjoy it.
Yeah, basically.
So how long you been doing this?
Probably, I've been costuming for the last 4 years or so, but I've been considered myself part of the fandom for at least 6 or 7 years now.
So what got you involved?
I don't know. Basically, I always kind of liked like cartoons and stuff like that. Like basically anything with like human, half animal creatures like that, you know. So, and then I found furry, and it just seemed right.
Cool. And why did you get involved?
Let's see, I've been involved since I was probably in 6th grade, so like 11 years. I really like animals. I like the idea of having like animal traits and like people with the tails. Just looks really cool. The culture is really fun and people are outgoing and like to party, but I like the art most of all, I think, just because it's like fantasy based. And it's fantasy based and it just kind of looks right to me, like something that would look normal, I guess. So I just really like all the different animal types and species and how you can represent different sort of personalities and characteristics. So like I draw myself, and so when I draw someone as an animal, you can get a lot more across by like showing different emotions with ears, and I don't know, it's just a lot more options to work with when you're drawing, I guess.
It's kind of like a character representation of yourself.
And why are you two gentlemen involved?
I like the scene. Fun people. Fun parties.
Yup, same thing here. Yeah, overall, it's just a good time. I mean, it's just a big gathering of people. A bunch of my friends do this, so you take a good 12, 13-hour drive out here. It's a party.
It's like any like vacation, really.
Yeah, it's a great time.
So you dress up?
Me, yeah.
And what is your outfit?
Jackal.
You have a picture of me?
Not on me.
Okay.
This is the same tail, though.
Oh, let's see. Cool. And where are you from?
Milwaukee.
All of us from Wisconsin.
What part of Wisconsin?
They're from Milwaukee. I'm from Green Bay.
And you?
Same as them.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee? Very cool. I want to take a video clip of your whole suit. So how much, if somebody wanted to get involved in doing something like this, how much would it usually cost them?
Well, my original suit was a pretty cheap partial. I mean, it was basically just a mask that I used like a few extra, like I had a friend make me paws and feet.
Okay, so you...
Okay. Basically, my original fursuit was pretty cheap. So it was basically just a mask with like paws and feet and a tail that I had a friend make for me, which was about $200 total for everything. And this suit, I mean, it can range really. Like I'd say starting price maybe 200, and then they range up to usually into the thousands. But some people go as far as to spend maybe 10 grand on some of these things. Just depends on how much you really want to spend to make it look like what you want. You know?
What is your name?
My name's Christy Hochstein, but I go by Squeaky Chew Toy in the fandom.
Okay, and why are you a furry?
I love animals. I love costuming, so it's just fun to combine the two. I draw anthropomorphics, and it's just a lot of fun to just come here and be silly. Yeah, and I just like coming to Anthrocon, just having a lot of fun and just coming and being silly in my costumes.
And how long have you been coming to Anthrocon?
Since 2005.
And you've been a furry since then?
A while. I've been a furry for like since high school about.
And how long is that?
Oh, geez. About, at least 15 years.
Cool.
Yep.
And what got you into being a furry?
Well, I found out about it through the internet, and started connecting with other people interested in anthropomorphics and animal costumes.
So how do you feel when you get dressed up?
Oh, I just feel like going out and just being silly and it's exhilarating.
So what is some of the reactions that you get whenever you go out dressed up?
Oh man, sometimes I go down. Well, specifically, there was one event I went to where down in New York where I live called the Art is Life Festival, and it seemed like the children wanted to give me hugs, but like the adults seemed to be afraid of me. It was kind of funny.
Is there anything else that you want to add about your experience as a furry, or getting anybody else involved, or?
Well, yeah, I got my boyfriend Zach here involved. He started coming to cons with me last year. We come to Anthrocon every year, and I can't afford to really go to other ones, but.
So what's your name?
I'm Zach. I'm mostly her handler because I overheat real easy. Those suits, they get very hot. I have a lot of respect for anybody who can wear this for more than an hour.
Yeah.
So
how? If you've noticed around the con, they got water stations all over.
Yeah.
It gets very, very hot.
And a headless lounge for when you have to take the mask off.
So what does the handler do?
Just make
you lose a lot of manual dexterity and vision. So I make sure she doesn't run into people, and that everything's good, and
make sure I don't get into trouble.
She's out of trouble. She's safe and sound.
Yes.
So no damage comes to the suit or her or anybody else.
So how long have you been a handler?
I handled her all last year and this year too, and any other time we're out not at the con, I handle her for Art is Life and a couple other things.
So, how do you feel about Anthrocon having a convention here in Pittsburgh?
Oh, it's really fun. The city is just so friendly to us. They welcome us every year, and I know we support the local businesses pretty well during the few days we're here.
Cool. So, is there anywhere else that you would like to see the convention be?
I think Pittsburgh is a pretty good home for it. I don't know. It'd be nice if we had a convention closer to where I live, like in Buffalo or Erie, maybe. Like I live in between there.
Cool.
But where else? Because I can't really afford to travel that much. But I come up here and have a lot of fun.
So how much did your suit cost you?
Oh, I made it. So like the fur is about $20 to $30 a yard. For good fur, latex paw pads and the clay claws. I made those all myself out of materials I got.
Same with the nose too.
So yeah.
Cool. Can you do that again?
Nom nom.
Cool. So if somebody wanted to buy your outfit, how much do you think it would cost them?
Well, gosh, I wouldn't be able to sell my own costume. It's just, kind of a personal character.
But if you made one for somebody else, how much would it? I wanted you to make me.
If it's, more complex characters, it'd be more expensive, or having different colored fur and everything.
So how long did it take you to put one together?
Well, I worked on this one for over the course of a couple of years. I made a couple others. I pretty much put them together.
Cool.
Over the course of a year or so.
So, was you part of last year's Guinness Book of World Records record?
Yes, I was in the parade and the big fursuit photo they had.
And Jens beat the record last year, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you feel that the chances are Jens beating this year's record?
The chances are pretty good. I think it's pretty much guaranteed.
So last year was around, what, 780?
Yeah, 713 in the parade, I believe.
So round about, how many do you think that you'll be this year?
Closer to 1,000, I think. It just keeps going up every year.
Cool. Go ahead. So what are your names?
Timbers.
And your real name?
Adam.
Your last name?
Beauty.
And where are you from?
Las Vegas.
Sir, your name? Okay. And what's your name?
Kumo.
Say it one more time.
Kumo.
Kuma, and what's your real name?
Nick.
Your last name?
Peralta.
And where are you from?
I'm from Phoenix, Arizona.
Cool. And what made you become a furry?
Just the adaptation to, you know, living as an animal, I guess, alter ego is rather interesting to me. I can't tell you exactly why, it's just a feeling that I've had, like, ever since I was a kid. Like, I always thought it would be interesting to be able to experience a life in a more feral sense. Like I said, I can't give you, like, a breakdown of it, it's just how I've always felt about it. And it's just all around fun, you know, like, I'm not, like, spiritually connected or anything like that, but, I mean, I love the community, I love everyone about it, I love everything about it, and I love everyone in it, and that's all I can, like, say about that one.
And you, sir, what made you become a furry?
Well, when I first saw Furry Fandom, I thought, oh, that's so interesting, a bunch of people that come together and share pretty much just the interest of talking animal, or just an animal that has human characteristics, maybe just a person with ears or tail or whatever. And then what really gets me going is really the people. Every time I come to a convention, I just meet new people, have fun, make new friends, socialize, and just actually create lifelong friendships. And then do this for fun.
So how do you feel about the convention being here in Pittsburgh?
I love it. This is a big difference from Arizona. Clouds, all nice and cool. So far, the people here are really nice. I haven't seen any issues going on. The hotel staff is amazing. And I would think Pittsburgh is a good, perfect area since it's right next to the convention center and there's a bunch of us.
And you, sir, how do you feel about the convention being in Pittsburgh? And you?
Pittsburgh, like Kumo said, it's a big change for me. I've been in Las Vegas and all that, so coming out here, it is a very nice change of pace and all that. The town itself is much smaller, much more laid back than Las Vegas. I like that the con is here because it lets us do our own thing. We can like sit back, relax, and the locals love us and everything like that. There's not so much hustle and bustle where we're just in everyone's way about it. Because this is a big thing, you know, for us, and I don't like being in the middle of everyone else's life. So it's cool that we can come here, chill out, be able to see Pittsburgh. It's a really nice town, and everyone loves us, you know, so I'm okay with that.
So how do you feel about when you get into your suit? Do you feel empowered, or do you feel different? And how do you feel like being like regular everyday you to being a furry?
Even when I'm out of suit, I feel like I'm a very animated person, but being able to put the suit on, it allows me to animate myself even further. And it does give me that sense of like a comedic value, I suppose. I don't have to be the adult, you know, figure that society has molded me into, I suppose. And not to say that I'm immature in suit or anything like that, but it allows me to just be a little more free with myself. I mean, if I want to like dance and just, you know, get crazy and everything like that, you know, it's much more, I guess, allowed. It gives you a different look on society itself, and it allows you to just break that mold. And I'll leave it at that.
So you could dance in that?
No. I don't want. If I was a little more drunk, maybe I could.
So how do you feel about being a furry? Like, when is there any difference from being everyday you to jumping into your suit?
Not completely. I mean, with everyday society, you have to have a proper stature. You have to basically put on your suit. You have to be clean cut, you have to have your mannerisms, and you have to pretty much do what everyone else wants you to do. And here, you could be that, and then you could also have that inner child of being a cartoon animal and also having fun. I mean, everyday society, how often do you just meet a random stranger and just hug them? And there's no, hey, what are you doing, what are you doing? With here, I could just give some person a random hug and I just put a smile on their faces. And when I become my character, I give my character personality. I physically show everyone, hey, I'm me. and I just love the expressions that I give people. And I've seen a few people have a bad day, or they're just not feeling well, and I just try to liven up their situation, try to make them feel better, and then I wind up doing that. And then when I go out to the public in my suit, I'm going to be in their memories forever as, hey, I met this costume character, or I met this furry, and it's just a whole new experience.
Cool. I'm going to take a big shot at both y'all, or all three y'all. It's video, so you could.
Hey, what's up, you know? I'm like very well, flash and everything. But yeah.
So wait. Okay, what is your name?
Bade.
And what made you become a furry?
I think it was more of an experience, just going out and being open-minded about some of the things that I saw about animals. So it kind of expanded out, and also have a further bloodline that in the family actually part Cherokee Indians. So it kind of just went down the line from there.
And what part of the country you live in?
I'm still here in the U.S. I haven't gone further back as far as my life, but I was born in Newport News, Virginia, and I actually lived in Italy for about 3 years in Sicily. So it's more of a military family thing. That's all.
So where are you at right now?
Currently, right now, still in Virginia. Surprisingly, I have not ever been back to Newport News. So I'm hoping to at least just visit there once.
So how do you feel about the Anthrocon Convention being here in Pittsburgh?
It makes me feel a lot comfortable where I'm at. I can't really do it anywhere else because most people, they don't understand. They kind of take it a little bit too far. They think it's kind of, I guess, different. People don't seem to accept things that don't fit in what people call like their bubble. So it tends to, like I said, feel comfortable here than it does just anywhere else.
I'm going to down. Can you move your mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah, open it, close it again. And open it.
I'm a publications director here at Anthrocon Incorporated. Anthrocon was started in 1997 in Albany, New York, and since then we've grown to be the largest convention of its size. We moved from Albany to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1999. and then we eventually outgrew that venue there and moved here to Pittsburgh about 5 or 6 years ago, and we now have the largest convention of its type in the world.
And what type of convention is it?
This is a furry convention. It's for people who like anthropomorphic animals, those animals with human characteristics or qualities, and or cartoon animals for to be more to focus on the most popular reference, I guess. Cartoon animals. So it's about animation, artwork, writing, costuming. The costuming is very popular, but it actually only takes about 15% of our attendees are costumers. But they're the most photogenic, so they're the ones that people look at the most.
Okay, what got you involved in Anthrocon and furries?
I actually became a furry fan. I found out about the fandom in 1993. I've always been a big Warner Brothers and Looney Tunes fan, so it's kind of nice to find out that there was this sort of group of people that were interested in cartoon animals and so on. And, I got to hook up with them and go to my first convention in 1994.
So, have you ever dressed up as a furry, or have you always been PR?
No, I've actually worn one of the costumes once or twice at once for a parade and once for at one of the local gatherings we had in a park over at Glen Echo Park in Washington D.C. I don't actually have one of my own costumes yet. Thinking about getting one, someday, but they're kind of expensive and trying sort of weighing the cost between the expense of getting one versus only wearing it maybe once or twice a year. It sort of weighing the two.
So what does it mean for you to be a furry?
I'm very interested in the anthropomorphic animals, about animals that would walk and talk and the different worlds that people create for their characters, and I'm very much into the animation and cartooning aspect of it.
There's been some negative outtakes about the furries and Anthrocon and everything that yins are about. A lot of people say that it's a bunch of freaks, people using litter boxes. Majority of everybody, if not everybody, are homosexual. Like, how do you take all that? We're admittedly weird, but we are harmless. There's not really a lot of truth to any of that. All right, and as a member of the board of directors, what is it that yins do?
Okay, well, I am in charge of publications, so I manage all our printed materials, the con book, the pocket program, any of the dining guide, any of the printed materials that are published for Anthrocon. I manage those materials, make sure that they're sent to the printer and everything gets done properly with that. So.
Okay, now you were just mentioning briefly about how you move through the ranks. Can you tell me again how you move through the ranks? Like, you started out as an attendee, then how'd you go up through the ranks?
Sure, yeah. I originally was attending conventions just as a fan, as an attendee, and it was really a lot easier back then because I just show up at the convention stuff, and I liked the convention so much I decided to help out. So I was a volunteer then, and then after a couple years of volunteering, they eventually brought me on as staff, and then shortly afterward, I became a publications director.
And what's your goal? What level are you trying to reach at in the Anthrocon and the first?
I think publications director, I can't really go much higher than that.
Okay. So how do you feel about the Anthrocon Convention being in Pittsburgh? And do you feel that there's anywhere else in the country that should be home to Anthrocon?
We actually moved to Pittsburgh because we outgrew all of our other venues, and we really love Pittsburgh. It's a very nice city. We've actually adopted the Pittsburgh black and gold colors for the Anthrocon flag, which is flying above the convention center. It's a great city, and the people of Pittsburgh have been very nice to us, and we enjoy coming here every year.
So, the Yins are the largest convention for Anthrocon and for furries. And last year you broke the record, which is actually your own record. How do you feel that you're going to do this year?
I think we'll probably do pretty well. We're expecting probably between 4,700, 4,800 attendees this year. I don't know if we're going to break 5,000, but hey, you never know. Depends on, maybe we got a lot of attention from Pittsburgh this year. Maybe we'll have people show up and have a good time this weekend.
And the furry parade and the Guinness Book shot, can you elaborate a little bit and tell me what that is?
Yeah, we have people in, all of our people in the costumes and stuff like that. We have a parade every year, and we take a group photo. I believe we had about 719 people last year.
And what do you think your numbers are going to be this year for that?
It's hard to tell. It depends on how many people show up. But I mean, with more expected attendees, we'll probably have a lot more, and probably gonna break that record again this year.
And what's that mean to you and to Anthrocon about breaking the Guinness Book of World Records?
We like to put on a good convention, and we're sure our attendees enjoy it, and it feels good to put on a convention that people enjoy.
How many people were in the furry parade and in the setup of most furries in one place at one time last year?
Yeah, last year our Fursuit parade had a total of 713 attendees, and it was the largest Fursuit parade in the history of our fandom.
Yeah, he was a security thing sitting right by the elevator.
That's why.
You only have 3 things. Yeah, it's like a triangle. It wasn't even that. Yeah, I guess so. off by you two. I don't know what I feel. Yeah, I do. Everybody. That's cool. You get flipped off by you get flipped off by this man. You just gotta choke for 5 seconds. I never did, but I plan to. Okay.
That's a video!
Come on, no applause. All hands. Okay, where does the sunshine gorilla sit? It's like this whole crowd, no one has a beer. Yeah? I'll share it. $40, you got us. Wait, Stitch? Is that like 4 shots? Jesus Christ. Come at it up. It's a good shirt. Get it. Umbrella Corporation. They were better than yeah, exactly.
Finish line! Finish line!
Didn't work. Water and also So, what's your name?
Spartacus Cheetah.
And what part of the country you live in?
California, the Bay Area.
And why are you here today?
I'm here for the world's largest fur convention, which is held in Pittsburgh every year.
And what's it mean to you to be a furry?
Well, being a furry varies among different people. In general, it's a group of people who come and enjoy the artistry, the animation, and the concept of exploring different animal features. About a third of us, maybe only 1 in 3, actually have these sort of suits. But there's a whole group of artists that don't, purchase through drawings. There are people that feel a connection to the animal world, who either feel they're part animal or feel that it has some relationship to them. For me, I felt a connection to it at a very young age. I had a very strong connection to animals. I felt in particular attraction to cats. And what I found was when I started joining this group was I found a group of people that had sort of like feelings. I like when I put this on. No one knows my age, no one knows my race, no one knows my gender, and people respond to you very differently. People will hand you babies on the street and give you hugs and take pictures of you and start talking to you in a way that they wouldn't do to a stranger. What I really like is how that really just lowers the barriers that people have between each other, and really in many ways makes for easier relationships and discussions between people. So that's one of the things I really like about this.
So do you feel more empowered or special whenever, besides you being you, than you jumping into your suit?
I do. I feel very different when I put on a suit. Many furs, as furries refer to themselves as, don't talk in suit. They take on the full animal character. I'm more of a talking fur. I still feel human, but in an animal form, and I definitely feel very different. I feel more social. I'm more comfortable approaching people. It's really just fun to interact with people who are much more accepting of you. I think in part because of our exposure to Disney and the various different animal characters. But people will just sort of let down their guard when you come in a way that they wouldn't do for a human. And so I find interaction with people is very different. And my self-image of myself is very different. It's a very, very positive experience.
You got a real elaborate suit compared to a lot of the suits that I've seen at the convention. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Sure. Now, there's really no standard rule of how people do it. It's really what you imagine and what you want to create. I think many people, because of the association with cartoons, think of very cute sort of cartoony suits. And that's the majority. About 80% of the suits are very toony. I've always been attracted to the animal nature of them, and so I've gone for the realistic suits. This is among the more realistic suits, including claws and a moving jaw and a face and sort of eyes that you'd expect to see on animals in museums. This sort of a suit, I find, makes a very different impression on people. So my suit, I commissioned an artist, a group called Clockwork Creatures, to make this, and a person named Lance Kagawa to make the paws. Both of them were very experienced in making models, in making suits for performance as well as for furs, and many of them work professionally as costumers, and so their feel is a little different than from any of the other fursuits that you see. And I like the fact that it's more realistic. For me, that's part of the character.
So how much would your suit cost somebody?
I don't think we should say that on film. But I'll tell you that some of the less expensive costumes, people who make it themselves, a lot of college students are involved, they'll spend $300, $400, $500 on making them. On the other hand, some of the really elaborate stage costumes can cost over $10,000. So there's a very wide range.
So if somebody else that you met would want to be a furry or want to get involved in something like this, what would you tell them?
Well, I'd say, how does it feel? Does this feel interesting to you? There is a play, Avenue Q, a musical, and there was a song that was modified in a furry skit that was done here last year, and it was basically everyone's a little bit furry, and it was basically people saying I'm not furry. Well, you kind of like Disney cartoons, and you kind of like to scribble the characters, and well, okay, I guess I'm a little bit furry. I think a lot of people have a little bit of the furry character in them, and part of coming to a group like this, which is what I'd recommend to anyone who wonders about it, don't read about it online. Come to a FurCon, see the people, see the exhibitions, go to a few sessions on drawing, go to a few sessions on acting, go to a few sessions on fursuiting, and see how that feels. And I think that the sort of popular impression that people get by looking online is very different than the impression you get actually being here. It's a very warm, accepting group.
All right. We got 2 teams still left. We're down to 6 competitors. 6 competitors. We're going down. 2 teams. We need to get down to see who wins. Hold down. All right, stay in the play circle. Stay in the play area. Over here. You guys got this. Come on. Come on, guys. Go. Attack. Oh! One's down. I see one. That's one. One's out. All right. We're down to 2. Woo! Come on, Jake! Come on, Jake! Oh! Man, is that all red? Is it just green left? Green? Green, green, green? Whoa! That's a good winner. Second place is Team Red. Yeah, you don't have to stay in the box. There you go, there you go.
Get off of me.
Scene ends in 10 seconds.
All right, and what are your names?
My name is Joe Wose. I'm the executive director of the Toonseum.
My name is Brian Harris. I'm the charity director for Anthrocon. My name is Jim Martin. I'm one of the board members for the Toonseum.
And can you tell me a little bit about the charity? How does that work?
The Anthrocon's board of directors has a candidate list of a large number of animal-related or cartoon-related charities. Each year we get together and we discuss amongst ourselves around the December time frame which charity we would like to select. Once we select one, we inform them we contact them by phone and talk with them about their participation, and we work with them for the next 6 months on getting them involved, getting them caught up to speed, and getting them prepared for coming to the convention. Each year we have a table for them in the dealer's room. They participate in programming, and we raise money through auctions, raffles, through comedy shows, and various other opportunities. And we've raised over $100,000 for charities over the past 15 years.
And what did you raise this year for the charity?
This year we raised over $10,000 for the Toonseum. We've been working very closely with Joe and with Jim and the Toonseum in order to put together a significant amount of programming and content, as well as they've been working close with our costuming community to produce a very well-rounded schedule of events for our attendees.
And how do you feel about being a recipient of this year's charity?
We're just delighted. Anthrocon brings so much to the Pittsburgh community. They're a wonderful group of people. They're heavily involved. They really do embrace the charities. So it's more than just them donating money. That's a wonderful thing, obviously. As a non-profit, it's our sustaining lifeblood. But I think one of the things that's best about Anthrocon is they really firmly, truly believe in each of the charities they support. The members, their board, they come to our museum, they ask how they can help, they donate.
We're good.
The members are actually in the community with us. We had a wonderful block party we held, and the furries all came down, and it was just a wonderful experience. So I think it's more than just the money that's raised. It's the goodwill they have in the community, and just a wonderful relationship we've been able to have with Anthrocon and all of its attendees.
And making Pittsburgh aware of who Anthrocon is and what they do. Because as Joe was saying, at the block party a lot of families came down with their children, cameras, took great pictures of the characters. So it was not only beneficial for the Pittsburgh community, but for Toonseum, and I think we all feel very honored that we were chosen as a charity.
Absolutely.
So what's the type of work that you do all year round?
Well, we're actually a museum of comic and cartoon art. So we do new exhibitions every 2 to 3 months. Our current exhibit is Superheroes, Icons, and Origins, and there's over 50 pieces of original superhero art, dating from the Golden Age all the way up to contemporary work. We do screenings, we do summer camps, hands-on workshops, lecture series. So we do a lot of different programming, both within the Toonseum and also out at schools, libraries, festivals, and just a variety of work.
A lot of community outreach.
So where can anybody find you guys at?
Well, you can visit us online at toonseum.org. That's TOONSEUM, Toonseum, Cartoon Museum, toonseum.org. And you can visit us in Pittsburgh, in the Cultural District at 945 Liberty Avenue, Pittsburgh, PA. You can call us at 412-232-0199. If you need information, it's 412-232-0199.
And we're also on Facebook and Twitter.
And what is your link on Facebook and Twitter?
It is Toonseum.
So it's facebook.com/Toonseum.
Toonseum, and you can also Twitter handle is Toonseum as well.
Oh, and check out some of our videos on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and type in Toonseum.
And we'll be posting some shots from Anthrocon there too, so check it out.
Absolutely.
And what is your name, sir?
My name is Peter Beagle.
And tell me a little bit about your book.
This is the graphic novel version of my old novel, The Last Unicorn, which actually came out over 40 years ago. But this is very new. And the husband and wife team who did the artwork have done a beautiful job. And the writer, Peter Gillis, has adapted my work remarkably well. I couldn't have done it.
And why are you here today at the con?
I was invited to Anthrocon and I jumped at it because I went to college at the University of Pittsburgh. And I still have a great tenderness for the town, even though I don't get back here often. And it's changed a great deal in 50 years. But I've had a wonderful time here, and I hope to get invited back next year. That's a hint.
So, would you say that your experience here at the convention is a great experience, a bad experience?
It's entirely positive. I can't think of a bad thing that's happened.
Cool. And how do you feel about it being here in Pittsburgh?
As I say, I went to college here more than 50 years ago, and Pittsburgh was smelly, funky, dirty, stinky, and I loved it then, and I still love it.
Oh, as soon as he saw me in the video.
My name is Andy Runton.
And what do you do?
I am a cartoonist. Cartoonist is somebody who writes and draws their own cartoons, and so that's what I do. I actually am the creator, artist, and writer for Owlie, which is a graphic novel series starring a kind-hearted little owl and his best friend Wormy, who's a little worm. And they just kind of go on little adventures in the wilderness and make new friends, and that's what the stories are all about. He's kind-hearted, and all the stories have happy endings, but that's what Owlie is.
And what got you involved in doing this?
In doing comics, I've always loved comics when I was growing up. The Sunday paper was how I learned how to read, and so it's been wonderful. What I did was I actually learned how to read by my mom reading the comic strips to me, and I've just always I fell in love with the medium back then. I didn't know that I could actually do it for a living, and so it took a while for me to figure that out, and once I did, I went for it.
And how do you feel about the convention here?
Oh, it's been absolutely amazing. I had just an absolutely amazing time. Everybody's so loving and caring and inclusive, and what I do is I draw things that are really cute, and in the comics, you know, like mainstream comics, which is all superheroes, there's a lot of violence, and Owlie isn't about violence, and you know, sometimes people think oddly of that when I go to comic book conventions, but here everybody just looked at it and was like, I love it, it's adorable, show me more. So it's been fascinating.
All right, and tell me a little bit about this book right here.
This is the Owlie and Wormy Friends All Flutter book. It's my latest book. This one is actually a little bit different from my other work in that it's actually a children's book, and it's actually in full color. So as you can see, Owlie doesn't speak. He speaks in symbols. So there are no words. But this book is it's a comic book that's been broken up into a children's book. And so you can see I still use panels, but I break them up a little bit differently. But this is full color, and this is from Simon & Schuster, and this just came out recently.
So where can we find this book?
You can find this book in all major bookstores and at comic book stores and online as well.
All right, and do you have a website?
I do. My website is andyrunton.com. You can also just Google Owlie, and you'll find me. I'll be the first one.
All right, and spell out your website for me.
ANDYRUNTON.com.